This is the first of perhaps several Fireside Stories this winter, coming to you from Minneapolis, in the midst of yet another heartbreak for the city, which has recently had more than its share. And it is winter in Minnesota, even if it doesn't always feel like it, especially to those of us who have lived here a while. Though even when it's a warm winter, it's a dark winter. That isn't changing anytime soon. And so, we light the fire. This is in fact the sound of my fireplace at home. A sound of comfort, warmth, the turning of one substance into another, the creation of light in the darkness. Well, our story begins in 1917, in Minneapolis, when the god arrives, boxed and braced on a bed of straw. Then, as now, its right hand is missing, along with several fingers on the left. The gold leaf and bright paint that once covered it is nearly gone except for a few flecks, especially on the back, where the elements and hands hardly reached. It is more than 1,300 years old, but the expression on its, quote, delightfully dignified and lovely face, as the museum announces to its members, is still, quote, calm and benignant. The statue represents a bodhisattva, a Buddhist deity as the museum defines it, who has attained the highest level of enlightenment but delays entering paradise in order to aid other earthly beings. They are the gods who stayed behind. They are the helpers. In Buddhist temples and Buddhist artwork, bodhisattvas often flank Shakyamuni, the historical Buddha, what the princely Siddhartha Gautama became upon enlightenment. They are often seated or standing on a lotus blossom, holding a lotus bud or a wish-granting jewel. They are universally selfless and universally relaxed. We could all be bodhisattvas, some Buddhist teachers believe, if only we could stop being humans. Typical humans, usually too captive to our own desires to help others fulfill theirs, spiritually speaking, of course. And there's the rub. As the late Zen priest Kosho Uchiyama put it, we have to look past our own position in life, quote, regardless of what hell one might fall into. A bodhisattva, he said, is an ordinary person who acts like a true adult. This doesn't come naturally. If it did, there wouldn't be so many bodhisattva statues out in the world to remind us of the spiritual ideal. Let's go back for a moment to the 6th century, the 500s, if you will, in China, to the village of Xi'an, where the few dozen denizens of this place pool their money together to commission the bodhisattva that will come to Mia some 1,400 years later. They may not have much money, but they have their reasons. We know this because they write them down in a long inscription on the base of the bodhisattva. Quote, the 45 members of the village community plant the precious root in the ground of virtue, so that it may blossom forth in the highest spirituality. They sow the seed of truth in the heart, so that it may bring forth fruit to the soul. They have high hopes, in other words. It will require, as the villagers note, the cooperation of all. But it will also require a certain mindset. The Buddhist perspective that Kosho Uchiyama called, in Japanese, Ise Shujo Totomi Ni. The notion that we are, quote, together with all sentient beings, come hell or high water. And you better be bodhisattva enough to take it. When Buddhism traveled from India to China over the Silk Road in the 400s or so, the original bodhisattva came with it. Avalokiteshvara, the Lord looking down from above. And the Chinese thought, well, that's great, glad there's someone looking after us, but let's make it female and call her Kuan Yin, she who hears the cries of the world. She doesn't just see, she perceives and acts. Of course, she is supposed to be concerned with your spiritual challenges, but many asked her for help in the here and now. Understandable, as the here and now often prevents much thought about the hereafter. Kuan Yin seems to understand this. There's the story about Emperor Wenzong in the 800s, whose predecessor was assassinated by a group of eunuchs who put him on the throne instead. The emperor loved clams, eating them anyway, 3 meals a day, even though he lived in Xi'an in the center of China, and it took essentially thousands of people to relay race these clams all the way to his dinner plate. And one day his royal chef is looking through the latest batch of clams and comes across an unusually large one, like 20 times bigger, which seems like a good thing, the perfect clam for an emperor, but no one can get it open. So the emperor himself goes to look, and suddenly the clam opens and there's Kuan Yin, in the form of a small statue, with an expression like, shame on you. People suffer to bring these clams to you, people who could be doing much better things with their lives. Message received. There are stories of Kuan Yin stopping a typhoon or a truck about to hit someone, healing the sick. Kuan Yin is busy, but never too busy, which is why she is sometimes depicted with several heads and hundreds of arms. She always has a hand to help. Well, when the statue arrives at the Minneapolis Institute of Art in 1917, it is one of the 2-year-old museum's first great coups. Now the museum is filled with bodhisattvas. There are more than 300 representations or references to bodhisattvas in the collection. Statues, paintings, bodhisattvas in the Indian form of Avalokiteshvara, in the Chinese water moon form, presiding over his own paradise, a sea cave from which he could watch the reflection of the moon on the water. And there is Maitreya, the bodhisattva who is the future Buddha, the Lord of Love who will come to rule the spiritual kingdom of Shambhala, but only when the world is truly in decline, such that if and when that day comes, when we have fallen from the path, there will always be a chance to do better, to see the helpers and be like them. This has been a bonus episode of the Object Podcast, produced by the Minneapolis Institute of Art with support from Ameriprise Financial. Come see the bodhisattvas and other statues and artifacts from Angkor Wat in Royal Bronze's Cambodian Art of the Divine on view at MIA only through Sunday, January 18. And get your tickets now for a special live taping of the Object Podcast on February 7 here at the museum with special guest Jeremy Messersmith. A Valentine's show with fun quizzes, music, and of course storytelling. See you there. I'm Tim Gihring.